All right, welcome to the video here. This is the probate roadmap assessment video. We're going to dive right in here to the things that you see on your screen. This is going to require you to take some notes because this is going to be different for each person watching this video. So as I go down the list here, cost, raw materials required, marketing method, amount of deals we can produce, and so on. I want you to jot down. I'm not going to have it listed on the screen, so this is going to require you to take notes. I want this to be interactive. Play this video back a couple of times if need be. And then if this is a roadmap that you choose, which you can absolutely send me a walkie-talkie Voxer message, we can discuss any specifics or anything like that. The following videos are going to be how to execute on this. So let's dive right in. The cost. The cost on this marketing method is going to be roughly $0 to $1,000 per month. $0 to $1,000 per month. And that's one of the reasons I love this marketing method. It produces powerful results, as you saw in the last video. As I shared with you, the reason why this has been one of my top lead sources and why I've done probably more probate deals over my 10 to 12 year career in real estate at the time of this recording. More than any other type of lead type or lead source. And it's just been very reliable. And so when you think about the amount of revenue that it can produce, which we'll talk about, compared to that cost, it is awesome. So $0 to $1,000 a month. Now, I alluded to this a little bit in the last video. There are some ways to cut corners. There are some ways to be resourceful. There are ways to bootstrap. So if you're very low, I want you to be honest and real with your budget, and if you have a spouse, discuss this with them, and truly, lay out how much you're able to invest in your business, right? Because marketing is this business. This is a marketing business, and so whether that's 200, 500, 700, 1,000, we don't want to be wasteful. We want to be good stewards. We want to be frugal with that. But truly, it's going to be between $1,000 or $0 and $1,000 a month. Now, there are certain things you can outsource later where it might creep up to $1,200, or if you expand to many, many counties, like it could go up to $1,500 or something like that. Maybe even $2,000 if you're really going robust with extra mailings and someone else doing the phone calls and things like that. So I don't want you to hold me to that end number if you are really expanding, right, in certain areas. But I want to give you kind of a general guide there. Now, at that point, it's very likely you're doing a couple of probate deals a month, bringing in at least $20K in revenue. So I'm sure at that time you're not going to mind spending $1 to $2K, and if it's bringing in $20K of revenue, right? So think about that ROI as well. So the cost is $0 to $1,000. Okay. Now, where is that cost going to come from? That cost is going to come from potentially accessing the leads through a third-party provider. That cost is going to come from mailing letters to the executor. So there's cost in computer paper, stamps, ink, and actually sending it in the mail, obviously because we need a stamp. That is going to come from phone calls. So you may have an open phone subscription for $10 a month. You may have another phone, or you don't really need a dialer system or anything like that. So we'll kind of get into which leads us to these raw materials, truly what is required to go do a probate deal. So what is required is a phone number. And so with probate, because we're working 200 or so opportunities a month, up to between 100 and 200 opportunities, you don't need a Mojo triple line dialer, right? Which is, what a lot of cold callers will use if they're dialing through 5,000 prospects as their main marketing method. When you have 100 to 200 opportunities, we're going to hand dial them. I have verified this through other big 7-figure operators, just out of curiosity in different meetups and masterminds. And they all tell me the same thing. They're like, no, Steven, I hand dial. I have my team hand dial those as well. So just a simple $10 open phone subscription, which you received in the welcome email. So you need a phone, a local area code phone number that you're going to be doing this in. Okay. The second thing that you need is just an email. This is free. This could be just a simple Gmail. This is your business email. If you are going to be sending probate letters to these executors and attorneys, we need a printer, a computer paper, ink, and stamps. And so there is those raw materials as well. Now you can get a printer. I found mine on Craigslist. You can find it on Facebook Marketplace. You can get it. I have a OfficeJet HP 8600 Premium. And again, there are ways to bootstrap this. I've had clients in the past that really couldn't afford the mailings in the beginning, so they leaned more heavily on the emails and the phone calls. Okay. So, your ink and stamps and computer paper, there's going to be cost there. You may spend $50 to $100 a month on those type of things, especially as you're getting more and more leads with these probates. You need a return mail address. So I use a UPS box that is $25 a month. So I can put my return mail address like 6700 Far Hills Avenue, number 104, city, state, and zip. And it looks a little bit better than a P.O. box, a little less spammy. So that costs $25 a month. So technically that's kind of like an operating cost, but I kind of factor it in here as well. And then again, if we are going to be, getting the leads down from the county, or if we are going to be getting them through a third-party lead provider. And then we actually need the probate records themselves. If we're going to be sending letters to the executors and calling them and also mailing the attorneys. But we will get into that in the implementation. So as far as raw materials, you need phone, you need email, you need a return mail address if you're going to be doing mailing. You need a legal pad. You do not need a fancy website. You do not need a big CRM system for probates. We don't have thousands upon thousands of records. And these 200 probate cases per month, they are just opportunities right now. They are not leads in your system. So you may input 10 or 20 or 30 of these a month into the system. But in the beginning stages, the first couple of weeks and months until you land that first 20K deal, 15K deal, first couple of deals, you can use a legal pad, okay? Sure, you may have aspirations of wanting to use a CRM, and CRMs are a wonderful tool. But bogging down your CRM with opportunities who you haven't even spoke with yet can also complicate things. So raw materials, you don't even need a website or a CRM. You don't really need a business card. You can, get free business cards or low-cost business cards, whether you want to do Vistaprint or you find some special online. Moo.com, MOO.com has high-quality business cards. But again, that is not a need. That is not a necessity. So really, from a raw material standpoint, that really covers it. Phone, email, return mail address, stamps, computer paper, ink, printer, a couple legal pads and notepads, and that is really it. All right, now marketing method, this is how we're going to be reaching these folks, these 200 opportunities or 100 opportunities per month. We are going to call them through your open phone or your phone, just hand dialing them. We're going to leave them a simple voicemail if they don't answer. We're going to shoot them a quick text message right after that, and we're going to rinse and repeat. We're going to follow up with these people multiple times a week. And then we're going to shoot them a quick email, okay? And that's on the executor side. So there is an element of of calling, phone calls, and text. It's going to be a very simple conversation, so don't let that scare you. I am an introvert, okay? If I can do this, the folks that I've worked with, I've so many folks that have been scared to make calls, or English isn't their first language, or they have an accent, or just not their personality type if you say cold calling, and they've still been able to get results with this. So don't overthink it to the point where you're like, I can't do this. So marketing method is phone calls, texting, we're going to leave a voicemail, and then we're going to send letters. So there's a direct mail element to this. So really it's phone calls, direct mail, email, text, and direct mail. I already said that. So that is how we're reaching these folks, and we're doing that through the executor side. We're doing that through the attorney side at different intervals, and reaching out to them in different capacities, different ways, postcards, letters, things like that. There's ways to cut costs, and we'll talk through all of that as we talk about implementation. Now, the amount of deals it can produce. So I like to be very, very realistic, very conservative here. So when you're thinking of probate deals, this is one niche. This is one lead source type, right? This is not you pigeonholed in your business forever. This is a beautiful thing to, add into your house buying business. And I like to be very conservative here. So please don't take this as me forcing a limitation on you. But just understand that I'm trying to be conservative, and this is a sliver of the pie here. So realistically, in any given market, and what I've seen in my 10 to 12 years experience within this niche, is roughly about 1 to 3 deals per month. Is like, have I done more than that? Sure, I've had months where I do 4, 5, 6, 7 probate deals, but that's not every single solitary month. This can provide a consistent 1 deal a month, 2 deals a month, sometimes 3 deals a month, depending on how many counties you're in. Now, you may think, well, Steven, that sounds to me kind of small. I just want to be realistic with you, right? So if you take your average deal size, and let's just say it's $15,000, if you added an extra 12 deals a year times 15,000, how would that extra revenue impact your life, right? Now, that's just 1 deal a month, right? I'm talking 1 to 3. So let's do 2 deals a month at $15K. How does that extra revenue? That's an extra 24 deals a year. And let's say your average deal spread, it could be 12K, it could be 15, it could be 18, even 20. So let's use some of those numbers, and let's say you do 3 deals a year, 36 deals a year just coming from probate. We're not talking about other roadmaps, other types of marketing channels, just this little old niche of probate. Multiply 36 deals a year or 30 deals a year times 15K, 16K, 18K. Even doing a smaller amount of deals, it can add staggering revenue to your business. And we're talking from a lead source and a niche where the marketing cost is $1,000 or less on a monthly basis, right? The ROI is huge, and the amount of people we can help is awesome. So again, I've had months well beyond 3 probate deals, but I want to just be conservative of what are we targeting towards here, and what is realistic, and all of those things. Now, let's continue on the list here. Speed to deal. So the goal that I have for any client that I work with, whether you're starting from scratch or maybe you've been around the business for a little while, but you're new to probate, getting that first deal under contract within 60 days or less, moving this from faith to fact. We want to have that commitment to results, which is going to take a lot of hard work and consistency on your part. So that's going to come down to the commitment tab there at the very bottom. And, speed to deal, right? There is a little bit of a process getting these records and starting to market to them and starting to have initial conversations and following up and making offers. But it is very, very possible to come in and get your first deal done within 60 days. Definitely get that first contract. And when we get the deal under contract, if we're going to be wholesaling it or assigning it, usually that closing is going to come 2 or 3 weeks later, okay? So I've had many clients come in, get their first contract within 14 days, 21 days, 28 days, 30 days. And get to the closing table by day 30, day 44, day 42. But oftentimes it does take to get to the closing table. I've had many other clients come in and they're between day 40 and day 75 or within 90 days. I know you want results right now. I do. We all do. But I want to have this realistic thing of if you could come in and do that first deal within your first 90 days or less, that is a awesome goal. And of course we want that to be sooner. Speed to deal, you can get there very quickly, and that's another thing I love about this roadmap. Now, scalability, there's different ways to scale this. You can scale this into other markets, other counties, but I want you to think about even a little bit more granular first. So in the beginning, I recommend you absolutely doing this yourself. You are going to be the one, likely in the beginning, getting these records or maybe getting them from a third-party lead provider. So one way for scalability with this roadmap is if you're pulling the records yourself, after you go earn that first 20K deal and you have some fruit in your business, now maybe you can outsource how you're getting those records. Maybe you're paying a courthouse runner or a online virtual assistant to pull these in a couple of different counties, or getting them through a third-party lead provider. And so you no longer have to do that. Another thing is you can pay someone to stuff and stamp the letters that we're sending to the long-form letters that we're sending to executors and attorneys. I've had my wife help me. I've had my sister help me. I've had other employees help me with stuffing and stamping the letters, as well as sending the attorney emails. It's very easy to outsource some of those, almost administrative tasks. So if you have a high schooler or a college, kid that is your own child that is interested in the real estate business, or family friend, niece or nephew, cousin, someone you're mentoring, or just someone that in your sphere of influence, these are wonderful positions to hire. Someone to go pull records from the county courthouse, or someone to send your letters or send your attorney emails. If you're doing this in a virtual market, someone to be your boots on the ground, your house runner, to go out to take pictures and video of the property and meet with the seller, and a 3-minute video of the inside of the house and the outside of the house, and 50 or so pictures. So the beautiful part about this niche is it's also you can outsource little pieces as you go. Now, in the beginning, I recommend doing it yourself, because you want to, so many people come in and they want to just outsource. I want somebody to do it all for me, but I really don't have the marketing budget for that, and I want the results, right? And it's like, no, I highly recommend doing this yourself. Let's go get that first 20K deal in the next 60 days. The smile on your face, the reward, the accomplishment you're going to feel. And then your reward is now you get to use that third-party lead provider, or now you get to hire, someone in your sphere of influence to stuff and stamp the letters, send the attorney emails, and outsource some of this. And you're able to bless them and feel good about it, right? Now, the other way to scale this is you can scale it into different counties, right? I do this in 5 counties. I'm kind of in a smaller market, and that produces 200 opportunities or so a month, sometimes 250. And that's still going to land us in that like 2 to 3 deals a month, 1 to 3 deals a month range. So I'm not talking like, well, hey, if you do this in, you're going to have to go to multiple different markets, multiple different states if you're trying to do like 10 probate deals a month. And I don't say that to limit you, but I want to be very realistic, right? Because even if you're doing 24 probate deals a year or 20 probate deals a year, and your average deal spread is 25K or 20K or 15K, this little niche can serve you in a huge capacity. And again, I like to be conservative with these numbers. So that's scalability. Now, skill set. You don't need to have any hardcore wired skill sets like you have to be an extrovert or have this outgoing, bubbly personality or be a people person. That is a very big myth. Some of the most successful people I know in real estate are mega introverts, okay? And I want you to know that. I'm an introvert myself. And so you just have to have that commitment to get results and a willingness to get a little bit uncomfortable, to follow a process, to have awkward conversations. You will make money in this business if you are willing to get a little uncomfortable, follow a process, have some awkward conversations, and until it becomes a skill set, right? And so with this particular niche, but with a lot of these roadmaps I'm going to be sharing with you, this is not something where you have to be just a talker, people person. You can still be introverted and do, very well at this. And, so that's kind of the skill set. You don't need to be like a number cruncher or, anything like that. If you are, that is fine, but we're going to be sending letters, sending emails, talking with people, and just keeping it very simple. Okay. And then the amount of time per week, if you can commit to about 15 hours a week to this roadmap, that is going to allow you to see the best success the quickest. And even a little bit more if you can, 20 hours, 22, something like that. You don't need 40 or 50 hours a week full time to do this, right? But at the same token, if you have 4 hours a week or 6, it's going to take you just a little bit longer to get there. So it may take that 90 days. It may take 4 months if you're only putting in 4 hours a week, right? So think 15 hours a week and just be very honest and real with yourself. I invite you to even track it. Like, how much time per week are you executing on this roadmap? And really communicate with your spouse, with your kids, and really try to carve out this time to give yourself a real opportunity to see the blessing of this business. So think 15 hours a week, and that is where you're going to be doing the implementation in the following videos. If you have less, there are ways we can get resourceful, but I just want you to have that realistic, understanding of the time frame. Okay. And then last but not least is commitment, guys. So commitment, you have to be all in for any of these roadmaps, but I want this to resonate on your heart. This has been one of my favorite roadmaps and niches. And there's a lot of opportunity to serve and help people. But it's just, you are the CEO of the business, being all in and saying, I'm going to see this through. I'm really going to do the activities. I'm going to follow this step by step. Even when I hit roadblocks, even when I hit hurdles, I'm going to go all in on this and really truly do this for the next 90 days, for the next 6 months, for the next year, and become a master at this, in my market. Okay. I'm going to start where I am with what I have and go all in towards this. So last but not least, guys, if you are watching this video and you're like, hey, I don't have near that $1,000 a month for marketing, there are ways that we can cut cost on this, right? One of my most favorite methods is the attorney outreach piece of this, which is absolutely free. We will build a database. You will build a database of the probate attorneys in your market, and we'll build 100, 200 of them. And you're going to reach out to them via email and phone call, and it's going to be absolutely free. And a lot of times, I've had clients hit their very first deal that way. And, so if you think, well, Steven, I don't even really have a marketing budget, or I'm kind of on the lower end of that. Sure, there's going to be things that you might not be able to do right out of the gates, like send direct mail, send the postcards every 60 days, send the longer form letters, or even purchase the leads from a third-party lead provider to save time. But we can reach out to these attorneys, and there are other ways we can just do some lower cost stuff. We can lean a little bit more heavy on the phone calls and the emails to still produce deals. Now, because we're cutting corners to save cost, it may take just a little bit longer. So I want you to have that realistic understanding. But guys, what if you went all in on this, no matter where you're at on this spectrum, for the next 6 months, and a year from now, you come back and you revisit these videos, and you're now doing consistently 10, 15, 20, 22, 17, 13, 32 probate deals a year, and your average deal is 12, 15, 18, 37K per deal. And now you're on to other marketing channels. You have this outsourced or automated to a degree, and you have the confidence to know that, like, wow, I saw this through. What would that be like? So I'll leave you with that. If this roadmap is for you, definitely commit to going all in. The following videos are going to be how to implement this step by step. So definitely I will see you in those next videos. If you have any questions on this, you are able to Voxer me as as a mentee, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you got a lot out of this, and have a great day.